Hello, good afternoon, LinkedIn, good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Unleash Your Green Gorilla, my broadcast lives, which I try and do every Thursday. Today I'm joined by Amit Tanafi, who is an architect and environmental consultant as well. And the reason why I invited Amit, hello Amit.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no, thank you. Is that we're going to talk about professional qualifications and technical knowledge, and the title of this particular episode is a little bit counterintuitive, if you want, because what I'm saying is that actually your sustainability knowledge and qualifications won't make a difference. Now, of course, this is a little bit of a I want to get your feedback, guys. If you are here, say hello, please. Say where you come from. And we're going to ask Amit perhaps his ideas about this. Now, the reason why I also invited Amit is that he's one of my masterminders. So one of the people that participate to the SustainABLE Mastermind, which we're going to talk about a little more in detail at the end of this. Okay, so let's start. So, by the way, I'm Virginia Cinquemani. I always assume that everyone knows me, but I am the director and founder of Green Gorilla Consultants Ltd, which is a coaching and training company focused on sustainability professionals and supporting them to make a difference and feel empowered to make a difference. So the reason why I wanted to do this particular episode is that it really comes from my understanding of the sector and from my personal experience of working with sustainability consultants and professionals for many, many years, and seeing how everyone is trying to get the next badge of recognition. And I remember when I was at BRE many years ago, I was in charge of the membership scheme, and some people within our membership scheme at BRE had 7 little badges of recognition after their name. So literally they were members of any possible association out there. Hello, Manisha, welcome. And I was wondering, okay, why these people do that? So, I mean, Amit, what do you think? I'm sure you got a number of qualifications and recognitions.
Yeah, they're not 7, not yet, and I don't know if I'll get there. Yeah, I have some qualifications, and they're useful, definitely useful.
What do you think is the reason why people, especially in our sector, in sustainability, why would people acquire more qualifications and more training courses, more technical training courses, one after the other?
Well, I think it's also a pressure of the market. Like the market is looking for people who has qualifications, also because for many, many years, sustainability was like a niche, a few people did this job, knew how to do this, and so qualifications were in a way to let the world know that you're a sustainability professionist. So the market was asking for it, also because the world of sustainability was developed around these certifications, Yeah. So it became like all these schemes that help you achieve these goals. So I think it's something that comes from the market, and then it's also us professionals trying to get more information, be more qualified. It's endless, actually.
Well, that's the point. It can be endless, right? Because there is always something new to learn. Exactly. And I do agree with you, is a way of recognizing your worth. So what you know, therefore, and if you have a little badge, then, I'm good to do this job for you. Of course, it's so important. That's the basic. I would say without at least a couple of those, you wouldn't be able to work. But also, again, going back to my personal experience of working with many professionals throughout the years, I realized that wasn't enough, really. no matter how many little badges you have, there is always something missing in a way. In some people, anyway. Of course, we can't generalize. What do you reckon it is missing, or, in your own experience? Because you joined the SustainABLE Mastermind because probably you wanted something more. Maybe not another badge, because it won't give you another badge. What were you looking for in that sense?
Well, actually, when you do when you study for lead, you study for well, and it's a lot of information and it's a lot of technical issues. But then you realize that it's not just you, the protocol, or the building. It's everybody, all the people, all the organizations, the tenants, the landlords, the architects, the map engineers. All of these people are working in order to achieve these goals, and you have to work with them, because at the end you have to know the protocol, you have to know the rules, but you have to apply them, and you have to apply them, and you have to work with people that have absolutely no idea of what you're talking about. And probably they're not even so convinced that it is something that they really need. Maybe they are convinced, the landlord is convinced that it will bring him, tenants. Okay, so he's convinced, but then you go deeper and it becomes complicated, and it becomes, and it costs money, and you have to, there's a dialogue, right? And in order to generate this dialogue, to create confidence, and to follow the process, your qualification and your knowledge is not enough. You realize they're not enough. I think it's like this in every profession, no? Mm-hmm. But sometimes in sustainability, being a niche, and now it's not exactly a mainstream. People say, I'm a lead AP. Everybody will come to me because I know exactly everything. But if I'm a lead AP, but I don't know how to explain the client why to do it, and how, following him, helping him, it will be just a title, no?
I totally agree. And that's the reason, actually, I went into business on my own, because I realized there wasn't anything to address that particular issue. Lots of super clever people with lots of fantastic qualifications, really a lot of knowledge, only went to waste because they weren't able to convince their clients, they weren't able to talk to them in a way that made that knowledge easy enough to understand, applicable. So there was something there that was missing. Thank you, Serena, for the lovely comment. For example, and the other thing I was reflecting upon a few months ago, in fact, while I was preparing one of the webinars that we do during the mastermind, I realized actually leaders, sure, they come from technical backgrounds of different kinds, most of them. And if you can think of any leader, no matter what sector they come from, but then they evolve. So the technical background is almost the foundation, but then how is that building built? And it's built on communication. The way, actually, I would say, because I was researching this again, so start with the vision, right? So what is the vision, the big picture? And how do you translate it for people into a strategy? And how do you communicate that strategy to your people, to the masses, to your clients, whoever they are? How do you influence them? How do you convince them to actually follow you? Communicating is one thing, because you could send an email, but how do you actually make sure they understand and they follow you and they become excited like you are? How do you sell that idea? So is that what you were saying before, is connecting to people, is making sure that complex system around whatever project you're doing, actually everyone, you manage to lead them to your vision, to that final goal that you might have, which can be very aspirational, but it could be just as simple as, I want to build a building with an excellent certification in whichever methodology you choose to have. Then they measure the result, they manage the project and the process, they manage the people. And also they manage setbacks, because we know, especially, I'm also an architect, or I used to be anyway. we know the construction projects never go to the plan that you had at the beginning. So how do you manage that process? So in all of this, unfortunately, is not taught at university, is usually not taught at the, within technical qualification courses. So there is a huge element there of emotional intelligence, I would say, being able to understand others, to read others, to influence others, but also to manage them in a way, and the situations as well. So there's a big piece there.
Yeah.
I got a couple of comments there. So Derval, hello Derval. The slow uptake of sustainability is frustrating when decision makers do not quite recognize the need. That's a big one, isn't it? And yes, hello. I can't really read your name. It says LinkedIn user. It says this is why Sustain Mantra is focused on demystifying sustainability. I need to check Sustain Mantra. I'm not sure. To a large extent, the so-called sustainability experts end up complicating the messaging. Absolutely, there is need for simple language, and that, isn't it? That is a huge problem, isn't it?
It is.
I know that you admit like training as well. This is one of your strengths, to teach others. So you must have come across that particular issue.
Yeah, because one of the things that we sustainability professionals have is that we are so much focused on these ideas. Now, there is so much inside. We learned about it. We're convinced about it. Most of us try to have a sustainable life and sustainable principles and everything. And for us, it's obvious. It's like it's a point of beginning, no? And then you realize that it's not like this for the rest of the world, unfortunately, because it would have been great if we arrived to a point where everybody says, sustainability is. I remember someone told me in the lead market that lead became like a commodity. No, so then we have to go further. The thing is that it's not obvious. So when you go to the client, when you work with your colleagues, everyone, and it should be like this, is focused on his work. So when you're coming to the picture, you have to help them understand how this thing fits inside the big picture, and how it can influence, and how they should not use it as a tool, as an external tool, as something that they are obliged to do, or it's another instrument that makes things better. And you have to explain how, and it should be simple. It should be and that's why what you said before is very interesting, because if you don't understand what they need, what motivates them, what are their goals, their ideals and everything, you will never be able to give them or adjust the message in a right way. No? So teaching is one way, walking with them, and trying to, so there's no one size fits all for sustainability. And so it's very important, this dialogue, not just communicating, but creating this dialogue, this exchange.
Absolutely. I think no one size fits all is actually absolutely spot on. And that's why we need to become even more skilled at communicating things in the right way. When I say communication, of course, I mean the two-way communication. So listening, as you know from my program, is one of the key skills for me. And talking, of course, talking in the right way, but listening is really number one, is what do they need? And that's why I think that, with all due respect, and it's nothing, it doesn't reflect on you as a sustainability person, but decision makers are not convinced because we're not able to convince them. Of course, there is a very small percentage of the population that will never be convinced. And, we know it's hardcore people that doesn't matter what you say. But for the vast majority of people, we can actually use a lot of influencing techniques that can help, and making the language simple and tailored to their needs is absolutely fundamental.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Let me see, there is another comment. The word sustainability is so overused. What we try to do is make a direct connection between a sustainability action and the benefit for the company. Absolutely. Unfortunately, there isn't anything else, I don't think, at the moment that we can use as an alternative to sustainability. But I've seen people getting quite creative with that. So here in London, for example, there used to be a big exhibition and conference called Eco Build, and it dropped the eco, and now it's Future Build. So trying to make, sustainability and eco become cool again. Future, innovation, future brain. We all use these sort of terms, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine to use alternative terms if it means, in the end of the day, that we are doing sustainability. I don't care what we call it. The important thing is that we get to the point of reaching that vision. So the values is actually answered. Coming from a technical background, I've learned the importance of selling sustainability. Even though the science is clear to me, at least you have to sell it. That's it. It's clear to you and to us, but there is actually a lot. And the thing is, it's easy to get lost in the noise. It's easy to not see the connections and there is a lot of stuff going on, and sustainability is so complex. There's so many layers. It's such a complex system that no wonder most people don't actually understand it. It's easy to understand the plastic issue, for example, but actually when we go into carbon and energy, it starts to become really, really complicated and not straightforward at all. So it's not, I think the majority of people will find difficult to understand and to communicate these sort of things. There you go. Oh, okay, Serena, that's bad news. The NHS, which is the National Health System here in the UK, has dropped sustainability plans for greener NHS plans. That's the thing, when they don't see the need, when somebody stopped, lobbying, or, sometimes it's at government level, it's not necessarily at our level, at professional level, that these things happen. But I think there is there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that's why, well, in the first place, I wrote this book, SustainABLE, because I am convinced that the people like us in this call, in this live, and people that are listening, that have the technical knowledge, have a huge responsibility to make this work. And so, great, guys, if you have technical knowledge, amazing, that's where you start. Not where you arrive. This is where you start. Now, as I said at the beginning, I've invited Amit to this, to this little chat, because I generally really love having a chat with Amit, and that's very true. But also because it's part of my mastermind, the mastermind that is going to finish actually next month. I mean, we will continue in a different form, but the SustainABLE Mastermind that he joined last year is coming to an end. And we're opening up to another group in March. So I wanted just to invite Amit to understand what was his experience of this, because the mastermind is focused on all of this stuff that we just talked about. Is beyond technical, is, okay, how can I communicate in a better way? How can I sell sustainability so that people listen to me? How can I be more influential? How can I make an impact? How do I manage my projects and my time so that I become more efficient? So all of this will be covered in the new mastermind starting in March. So Amit, why did you join the mastermind in the first place? What was the reason there?
Well, Virginia, you know my story, and we talked a lot about it. I'm an architect. I'm an architect. I worked as a designer. I worked as a project manager. So I followed construction sites, and it was exciting and it was very interesting, and I really liked it. And I worked on sustainability. But at a certain point, I actually realized that that's what I want to do. That's where I want to influence. And if I'm going to invest on my professional and personal path, it's going to be on sustainability. And I realized more or less, in an intuitive way, that it's not enough just to get all the information. So I said, it was very important for me to understand also how to create my leadership in this specific field, because if you have a leadership, it means that people will follow you. And if people will follow you, it will enable you to make the change. And so I found Mastermind a way of, first of all, applying all these soft skills, very important. Learning how to communicate, learning how to sell, like one of the visitors said, and also exchange experience with others. So it was most of it was because I decided to go that way, and I'm happy to say that it is still very helpful.
What's the biggest takeaway for you then? What is the thing that changed the most, or
Yeah, I think that the biggest change. I thought a lot about it, because it's been a kind of a special year. Let's call it a bit different. Let's say special. So it was like. And I went back to sustainability, and I started a new position, and it was exciting, and I had a lot of ideas, and I needed to make order, and I needed to to have priorities and everything. So and first, I think that the most important thing for me was to be able to believe that by doing it, I can really make a change, and this is something that I think that if I have to think about this year and the things I managed to do and the things I didn't manage to do, but I still want to do, is I have my conviction. And in this mastermind had a very big impact that things can be changed. I can influence and I can help in this way. So this is the first one. I think that the second one is that understanding that actually sustainability is something that you never do alone. It is something that you do together, and because it's not as I said, it's not an accessory. It is a way to collaborate. It's a way to share ideas, to grow, to have a positive impact, and the only way to do it at a small level, which is the mastermind group, or your where you work, or your community, or your family, or your country, but it's also on a worldwide level. If we do not collaborate, if we don't have this way of exchanging ideas, we'll never grow. So I think these are the two main takeouts.
I love it. Yeah. I really love it. And it wasn't what I was expecting, but I think it's really a great takeaway. And I think lots of people come into this group with very little confidence in their own abilities. Or maybe they know that what they know. So they know that they have the qualifications, like we were saying before, the technical knowledge, but really there is uncertainty around, okay, what do I do with this now? How can I actually make a difference? How can I change things? And it's fantastic to see that, part of what, the group does, because I lead the group, but obviously, as you said, is a group. So there is a collective intelligence there. There is feedback. There is a lot of companionship in that sense, and lots of exchange of ideas. That really makes a difference when you start also applying perhaps some of the things we discuss into your day job, and then see how people respond, because you know how I'm an advocate to practicing what we learn.
Absolutely.
So if you had to suggest to others, what would you suggest to others that might be facing the same issues you were facing before joining?
Yeah, I think that the first thing is that we talked about it. We have to learn to listen to others, to listen to clients, to colleagues, to listen to ourselves, which is the most difficult thing. Sometimes I would say that share your ideas, your enthusiasm, your experience. Share with others, because this is the only way. There's no. It is a competitive world, but in sustainability, we all have the same goal. at the end. No, so at the beginning I said, there are a lot of lead APs. Who cares? There's a place for everybody. No, I'm just saying, if everybody will do sustainability, it would be great. Maybe I will be out of work, but it would be great because it will mean that we change something. No, so share is important. And then maybe the last thing I would say is dare. You should dare. Sometimes you will say things and you'll have 20 people in the room that will look at you and you will say, what is he talking about? That's not a problem, because they don't know, but the minute you finish, you explain, you make them realize, and you see the change in their eyes, the understanding. That's the biggest satisfaction, and so they're saying things that are seem obvious to you, but are not obvious to the others, and you need courage to do it. You need courage. You need the instruments. You need the soft skills. You have to work on them, but go there and do it. Like you always said.
Yeah.
You can have great ideas, but you just have to go and do it. Yeah.
I think, the more I work with people, the more I realize that's probably what I can do best, is actually being a cheerleader for people and just do it. Because we have, like I said before, it's a shame and it's a waste. If you have the technical knowledge, if you have the skills, and you don't use them, and you don't, or you just try and preach they're convinced, the people around you, they already are convinced. You have to go out of your comfort zone and tell people. And yeah, absolutely, they will look at you like a lunatic sometimes. Other people are already there, but most people probably aren't there yet. So I love that. Just there to have courage and, and there to be different as well, to try and teach something to others. One thing that I would just want to highlight, that is going back to what we were saying at the beginning, is really make sure when you do say things that the others don't know, make sure you use plain language, make sure you talk in their own terms and using their own words and their own, and that's why it's so important to listen, like we were saying before. If a client is interested in profit, see how you can make them profit via sustainability. If they're interested in exposure or beating the competition, then try and see how sustainability can help them do that. Use their language, but dare to use what in that sense. Okay, lots of little comments here that are really great. People agreeing with you. Serena loves that is not an accessory. So she says, thanks for that. Even small dares to get others taking action is such a great conversation opener. Absolutely. That's fantastic. Thank you, Suzanne.
Totally
now,
agree.
I'm going to change the banner for just a minute, because if people are interested in joining the mastermind that is opening in March, is basically, I'll just summarize for those that just joined. It's a group of people like Amit and others who have worked in sustainability for a while. There's professionals, they're leaders, and but they want to do more with their knowledge. They want to learn the soft skills, they want to apply them, they want to share with others, like you were saying. They want to have feedback as well. We do a lot of these little, sessions, and where we present and we get feedback, or we put together our ideas, and it's really to grow together in that field. It's really to grow sustainability together. And there is group coaching and there is one-to-one coaching as well with me, to really dig into the issues that you might have on a one-to-one level. And and this one that is opening up in March is 4 months long. Every month we focus on one of the key skills as per the book, again, that I wrote last year. So is communication, selling, project managing, and resilience. And every month we will deep dive into those and grow in each one of them. So just follow the link if you want to join. We will start in about a month's time. And yeah, but do you have any questions, guys? And I know there is a little bit of delay, so we might as well hang around for a minute more. Hi, Damien. Hi, Asefi. If you have any questions for Amit, perhaps, or to me, with regards to what we're talking about, so the technical knowledge and limitations of it, or soft skills, what's needed to really advance sustainability, or the mastermind, we're here to listen to you. There was a lot of conversation going on around the NHS. Now, okay, a little trivia for you guys. I was responsible back in 2008, I believe, yeah, to write the BREEAM guidance for NHS buildings in the UK. So there you go. I was the project manager for that project. I wrote pretty much it all. It was a beautiful project that taught me a lot, and it really made me feel like I was making a difference. So having a BREEAM, which is the environmental assessment tool for buildings used here in the UK mostly. So having something focused on healthcare buildings was such a rewarding process. But apparently they're not doing it anymore, no. So I learned from the chat today. But it was great because they wanted all healthcare buildings to comply with that. And so I raised the sustainability bar. But anyway, that's me and my past. Okay, so if there are no more questions, perhaps do you have any final thoughts, Amit, or something that you wanted to say you haven't said until this point?
No, I wish to, wish everybody good luck. Don't be shy, to take part of this of these groups, of these initiatives, because it's taking the first step towards taking your passion and profession to a different place. And so just I say do it. And it was exciting. It's still exciting.
Thank you. That's great. Yeah.
There you go.
All right then, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amit. And
thank you, Virginia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye. Thanks.